Sorry about that. My phone fell off its bracket. Yeah, as I was saying, when you come to a point where being a parent and you both, the mother and the father, don't see eye to eye, someone always has to be the bigger person. Someone always has to be the bigger person. Even when sometimes you feel that you don't want to be the bigger person, or you don't have to be the bigger person. You have to really focus on what we're doing here. And what I'm not here for is to battle with people. I'm here to raise a young boy. I'm here to be his father. I have a responsibility to him, and I'm here to fulfill that responsibility. I had a bit of a situation where my arrangements are that to travel to Wales I should be given obviously a certain amount of time, grace period, if I am late. I was threatened today with not seeing my son if I was late, and you know, it's quite sad and tragic to see that I then had the arrangements sent to me by email, which actually explained that I require a couple of hours. And what got me about that situation was that when people are quick to throw up the law and rules set by courts, it's quite tragic to see that someone can throw those kind of things up with actually not having any clue about what the requirements are, but kind of use the law as a way to kind of fight battles with people. And it's more like a manipulation of the system, but not anything to do with making sure that arrangements are kept to. So it's quite tragic and quite sad to see that I'd received an email that actually confirmed what I was saying, and that was so easy to be thrown. But this is once again where I will have to be the bigger person, and I kind of just laughed it off and, you know, just parred it really. But it's still quite sad to see when a father is there for his child and does pay for his child and absolutely adores his child, how a mother can use that to try and stop him from continuing to do those things. That's tragic. That's very tragic. The saddest thing about that is that child will see things for what it really is. They're not going to see the lies, they're going to see the facts. And then that will give the child things to think about that you don't intend, or that you don't want them to have to worry about. So I'm going to keep being that person. I'm going to keep being the bigger person. And when my boy is older, he'll always know that despite whatever's going on in my life or anyone else's life that he's involved in, the fact was that I was still there. I was still there. Doesn't matter what he was told, doesn't matter what he was shown. The fact is that I was there. I was there. 200 miles away was round the corner for me, for him. And he's gonna know that. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you do have a father that does love his child, and you two don't get on, that's understandable, and no one's going to hold anything against anybody who still has emotions, because to not have emotions would not make us human. But please, for your children's sake, don't let your emotions be the reason that your child goes without. So you have to sit there and justify for years to yourself and to your child why that was okay. Because let's be honest, if a father's there for his child, but you can still find reasons to not get on with the father, let's be honest, you're probably going to be putting a lot of things together that would compile a negative view of that person. And that's not good. That's not good. All for the sake of an emotion, all for the sake of what happened in the past, to allow your past to affect your present and to intentionally, or with the intention, for it to affect the future. That's not good. And you have to ask yourself, if your child knew, would they look up to you? Would they respect you for that? And the chances are no. I know personally in my experience that that is not the case. You can say what you like, you can put together whatever stories you want, but if your child is as intuitive as you hope they'll be, they will find out for themselves. They will ask more questions when they're older, and you're going to have to either tell lies or you're going to have to not say anything. And both of those things are not healthy for anybody, particularly a developing mind. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep doing what I have to do, what I want to do, what I believe is right. And I believe, with a lot of hope as well, that my son will understand that. I always have worries that my boy won't totally understand what's going on, and I always have this fear that he's not gonna like me for not being there all the time. And I suppose, as much as that's a curse, it's a gift as well to me, to keep me consistent with him, to make sure that the story isn't told that my daddy wasn't there, or I don't like him because he wasn't there. The kind of obstacles that sometimes some of us have to go through to get to these places and seem so impossible, so far from how things are at the moment, that you're not inspired and you're not motivated to try. I have that all the time. But what I also have with those thoughts is my son's face, and all of a sudden all of that is no longer important. I see that as my personal view, my issues, but maybe it might not be like that. I just hope that my consistency and what I'm doing, these trips during the week and not being able to speak to my son, being accused of thieving, being accused of being a drug dealer, being accused of emotionally abusing my child. I hope that all of those things I can look back on and laugh at and hopefully forget about, because that's not what love is. And I love my child. Everything I do for my boy is out of love, and everything I will always do will always be out of love for him and him alone. He's my junior, he's my offspring, he's my legacy, and it's my job to make sure that he grows up and he's raised the best possible way that he can be raised. And that's my job. I'm a qualified electrician. I've been doing this for almost 14 years. But this isn't my job. This is what I do. My job is being a father. It's a full-time job. It's a full-time job whether your kids are with you or not. You know, we all have to set an example, and our decisions should be based on what our children would think if they knew. Keeps you level-headed, keeps you grounded. I'll be posting an article in the next few weeks. I'll be starting a website for any fathers that are involved with their children but suffer a lot of obstacles. This is more for guys like myself to get together, to put our nuts together and to see if there are ways that we can make our situations better, share information, share experiences, and most importantly share solutions to the issues that we have. I'll keep you guys updated. I really hope that everyone who's listening and watching, who comes across these problems, I really hope that you guys are inspired and motivated. I hope that, you know, seeing my situation you can relate to and take something from it. All I want is for my boy to be raised by me to a certain extent, which I have the right to, and I think we can all say the same. I hope you guys have a good day and look after yourselves, people. Love the Unstoppable Force.